Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chris and welcome to another one of my videos. In this video I'm going to be showing off a pretty cool system I came up with in Minecraft using a bunch of different mechanics that are in the game and some stuff that just came out in the 1.3 update. So basically what this system is going to do is, let's just say you're riding home from a mine on a minecart track. The system's going to detect you coming and then open up a entrance down at your base, all automatically, and then after a few seconds it's going to shut behind you. And this is all done without detector rails, without you getting out of your minecart or anything like that. All you need is a piece of wheat. So I guess with all that said, I'll go ahead and show you what it does, and then I'll show you how it works. So this is just simulating the ride home from the mine, and we're approaching the base now. Alright, so as you see, we made it back to the base, no problem, and the door shut right behind us. So if we were playing in multiplayer, no one following us would be able to get in. So that's pretty cool, and it worked perfect. So I guess with all that done, I'll go ahead and show you how it works. Alright, so it does have some redstone stuff to it. The whole system is split up into 3 different sections, so as assumed, we'll start with the first. So the first section uses something called proximity detection. As you see, we have a cow here, and I'll explain proximity detection briefly. So in Minecraft, if you are 32 blocks or more from a mob, they tend to generally stay still and not move. So as you can see, the cow is staying relatively still. It may move every now and then. The further you are from it, the less it moves, I guess. But as long as you're 32 blocks or more away, it tends to stay still. So I use this mechanic to set off the whole system. So as you can see, we started the track well outside that 32 block limit. So as you're riding closer and closer to that radius of 32 blocks, once you enter into it, the cow will start to move, which will then set off the first part of the whole system. So once the cow moves, it's going to hit one of these 2 pressure plates, which will send a signal off to that over there. So once the signal is set off, it's going to go to this XOR gate, which I put there because every now and then the cow would step on both pressure plates, which would just screw the whole system out and make it go through twice or more, which kind of messed it up after a while. So I just put that in there to prevent that from happening. So once the signal makes it through that gate, it's going to come over here to the second part. Now the second part uses some water flow and dispensers and also tripwires. Tripwires were just added to the game in the 1.3 update. Okay, so once the signal makes it over here, it's going to make the dispenser spit out whatever's inside. Cool thing about this whole system is you can pretty much use anything for the dispenser. So I know, like, a lot of times playing, you get a lot of dirt or gravel or stuff that you really don't want. You could just throw that in this dispenser and use it to help you get home and stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, it's a good place for all your unwanted items to go, and it helps the system out. So basically, once an item is fired from the dispenser, it's going to go down this water flow, and it's going to go down here and then trip off the tripwire after it falls, which will then send a signal off to this next section. Now a pretty cool thing about this is generally, I just set this up over here, it takes 8 blocks for water flow to stop, basically, as you can see. So this is 8 blocks long. But a cool tip that I kind of found out, I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I kind of just figured it out making this, is if you put a sign in front of the water flow, you're able to stop it from the 8 blocks. So as you can see, this is 4, and then you could even stop it at 2, and probably 1, but I just set that up to show you guys. So yeah, a sign in front does that. So I use that whole mechanic right here to save time for the flow, because while you're riding on the minecart, it's going to take time for the item to flow down the water. So by cutting down the length that it has to flow, it speeds up the whole process and actually makes the timing work out pretty awesome. Alright, so once the tripwire is set off, it's going to send... That's not needed. It's going to send a signal this way. Now, it's going to send signal two ways. The first way, it's going to go through here, and then we've got a T flip-flop here. I think that's what this is called. And this is where the whole opening and closing of the entranceway comes into play. So once the tripwire is set off, it's going to send two signals. This first one is going to go down here and turn this T flip-flop on, which will then open the door. It's going to open the door. Now at the same time, I set up this huge delay over here. So the other part of the signal is going to go around this delay, and it's going to delay enough so that the door's already open, and then it's going to come around and go back to the T flip-flop, which will then in turn close the door after that given amount of time. Now the pause between the opening and closing can all be adjusted however long you want. You can make it 2 seconds or however long you want based on the amount of delay that you put in with these repeaters. But essentially that's how it all works. One signal goes through and opens up, and at the same time this delayed signal is going to go around just in time to close it after it's been open for a given amount of time. So yeah, up here this is, you could take a look at this. This is just how I got the whole pistons to work with opening it. And this isn't much of a base obviously, but I just set that up. So a cool thing about the whole entranceway, I guess. So how the pistons work, on one side you have a minecart track, and on the other side we'll have the wall. So when it opens, the wall, the blocks that were here on the wall are going to get pulled out of the way, and then these are going to, the minecart track is going to be pushed into place, allowing you to go through the doorway. Then when it closes, it's going to do the exact opposite and pull the track away and put back the wall, obviously. Now the hardest part about this actually was I needed two separate delays, because when you're pushing minecart track against a block or a block against a minecart track, it doesn't really work because closing a piston and opening a piston are done differently. Like I think closing just goes automatically, but opening a piston takes like 1 or 2 ticks. So that delay right there screwed the whole system up, and in order to close and open I needed 2 separate delays. So that's where this whole T flip-flop thing came into play, and stuff like that. As you can see, this whole side will control opening it, and then this will control closing it. I don't know really how to explain it that much, but all I know is it works, and it's pretty cool. So I'll go ahead and show you it one more time. I know it's been running this entire time because I've been inside the 32 block limit. Oh, and a tip I have for you guys, put your base outside like 32 blocks away, otherwise it's just going to keep opening and closing the entrance. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and show you this one more time. I gotta make sure that it's not broken. Alright, it's not running right now, so it should work. And it does have some bugs, it doesn't always work, just because you have to rely on the cow actually moving when you're inside the 32 block limit. But yeah, we'll see if it works for us one last time, just as the sun setting. That would be perfect. Alright, I think we're good. Yep. Alright. Ooh, one more thing. You noticed before I said about the wheat. It's kind of important to have the wheat, because as I was testing this earlier on and while I was making it, when I didn't have the wheat in my hand, it actually, the cow rarely even noticed that I was above him, it just took a lot longer, and I would end up waiting at the door for it to open, still in the minecart, and then I wouldn't even be able to move once it opened. So what I found out is with the wheat, it seems to work a little bit better. I don't know if this actually affects it, but I guess how I think it works is as you're riding over it, the wheat kind of attracts the cow's attention to walk forward as you pass it, which will just make sure that it's timed perfectly, and opens the door just as you approach the base and everything like that. So that's the whole reasoning behind the wheat. And it seems to work a lot better when I have wheat in my hand. I don't know if it's just lucky or if it actually is the whole fact that the cows are attracted to the wheat and everything like that. Okay, but now this is the end of the video, so thanks a lot for watching. If you liked it, feel free to leave a thumbs up, and also leave any suggestions of stuff you want me to try and build. I'm working on a pretty cool, another system over there which involves mob sorting and stuff like that. But yeah, leave any suggestions of stuff you want me to try and build. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next